It's 2025, and the narrative has flipped. Women aren't desperate for love, they're discerning. More and more women are choosing to stay single, not because they can't find a man, but because they're done settling for half-effort, low energy, and relationships that drain instead of build. This isn't about bitterness, it's about standards. In a world full of red flags, bare minimum energy, and performative love, women are choosing peace, purpose, and partnership on their own terms. Let's talk about it. Why women are single, selective, and honestly loving it.
I feel clearer about what I want to do with my future. I know what I need to do with my day. I can work longer hours because I'm not so stressed out and caught up in somebody else's mood and what somebody else expects of me. I don't feel like I'm not enough. And that's always how I feel in partnership with a man, especially when I'm living with him. I never feel like I can fully relax at home. I love to cry for no reason. Like, I just cry on a regular basis, and not because I'm sad, but just because I enjoy it. And so, like, I like to be able to do that when I'm home. And I realize when I cry more often, I'm more in touch with my feelings, and I let myself just laugh and whatever. Like, I don't feel as emotionally constipated like I do in a partnership. And I feel like then when I'm in public, I'm a lot more emotionally regulated and happy and light. Sure, was there an initial detox? Like, I felt super anxious the first day or day and a half, and I cried a lot. It's like adjusting to be on your own again. But I swear that like third or fourth day, I was like, oh my God, the clouds have cleared. Like, I'm not angry all the time anymore. Like, as you've seen on my other content, like being angry, like I forgave the guy that cheated on me. I don't care anymore. I'm moving upward and onward. Like, I feel so good. I just think women have been sold this lie that we need men and men make us happier. Because you cannot contest the way that you feel when you're by yourself. As a woman, it feels just euphoric. And the last time I was by myself, it was after another breakup, and I was traveling around the world. And I equated it to just, living off my savings and traveling and, not having any obligations or being in Thailand. But I think it was just being alone. That's why I was so happy. And what's crazy too is when I was in a relationship before, like, I would always be thinking like, oh, I need to go do social stuff. I like this obligation, like, okay, I need to go make friends. Now I don't care. Like, I feel so happy just not doing anything and going and doing stuff on my own. And I'm naturally wanting to just go to, I went to a Zumba class today and saw a girl I hadn't seen in forever. And we're like, oh, let's meet up and whatever. Like, things just happen more naturally. They're not as forced. And I don't feel this constant rumination in my head that I felt when I was living with a partner. And if you want to watch the whole video of this, it's Why Women Who Live Alone Are the Happiest by Joe Dispenza. Look that up on YouTube. It will completely change your mindset.
This is probably reason number 500,000 of why I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. And I'm fine with that. I don't want to do anything for you. I don't want to cook for you. I don't want to clean for you. I don't want to be your secretary and set your appointments and chase you around and make you go because of your health. I don't want to pick up your socks for you. I don't want to be one of those people who comes on TikToks and makes funny videos about how you can't do anything for yourself and men do the darndest things and everybody's in the comments like, yeah, my husband does that too. My boyfriend does that too. Fuck that. I want to be with somebody who is an adult, a fully functioning adult. It's been proven time and time again that men are the ones who benefit from marriage and relationships because we get in them and we do everything and they just get to sit back and receive everything from us. And then as a treat, they might do something for our birthday or for Mother's Day. Men get to exist in relationships and just receive. Why can't we exist together? And if we do nice things for each other, it's just organic. It just happens. But it's not the expectation. It's not something I have to do because I'm the woman. When I come home after a long day, I don't want to cook either. I don't want to do shit either. Why can't we flip a coin to see who cooks or if we order food and then whoever cooks, the other person cleans? Why can't you pick up after yourself? Why can't you set your own appointments? Why do I have to be your secretary? I'm not working for you. I'm not working for you. I have gotten so lazy. I'm not doing anything. And then there are men who will say, well, then what are you good for? What's the reason why someone should be with you? You're proving my point. You just want to be with somebody to do everything for you. I want to be with a fully functioning adult male who we can come together and exist together, do fun stuff together. We take turns, we pull our own weight. And that seems to be unreasonable. That's asking someone to be an adult is unreasonable. I don't even want a cat. I don't even want a pet. I have a plant. I'll be a plant lady. I will be happy. I will not take care of a grown person. I won't.
Always makes me laugh when men in my comment section say, well, if you don't settle down, you're gonna be old and childless and you're gonna be an old cat lady. Listen, brother, I just got back from an 18-kilometer run. I am 1 month out from my ultra marathon. Freshly shaven legs, moisturized. I am now wearing a dress. I'm going to take myself out for dinner and I'm gonna get a juicy steak. And the house is clean. Everything is clean. And when I get back from my dinner, I am going to do a full skincare routine. And then I'm gonna crawl into bed with my freshly shaven legs, and it's gonna feel so nice against my sheets. I'm gonna light a candle, I'm gonna hang out with my pet rabbit, and then I'm gonna go to bed early. And I'm gonna get 8 to 10 hours of sleep, and it's going to be the best. My skin is the clearest it's ever been. My cortisol levels are balanced. I have a jawline. Can't say I had that when I was in a relationship constantly stressed out. And life is good. Life is really good. Fresh manicure. I love it here. I love it here. So I just might take the cats.
I don't know about the rest of my single folk, but every day single, I become less and less interested in the idea of a relationship or marriage. I've had my fair share of relationships. Some were okay, some were terrible. I genuinely just feel like there's nobody out there that I am compatible enough with to settle down. Maybe that's selfish of me, but I honestly don't care. I feel like so much of my life is centered around taking care of other people and not taking care of myself. When I think about my dreams for the future, it used to involve getting married, but I don't know if that's something I want anymore. I used to think being alone meant that I had to give in to the feeling of loneliness. And while I do feel that way sometimes, it's actually very freeing to be able to do what you want without having to answer to anybody. Maybe I'll change my mind eventually. I don't know.
I wanted to talk to you about your decision to remain single since your 40s. Have you ever regretted that?
Never for a moment. Never for a moment. It's not like it was a conscious decision that on February the 12th at 8 p.m. I sat down and I wrote down, I will never get involved with a man. No, it wasn't that way. It's just, in the course of my life, that was not an issue. It simply ceased to be an issue.
Yeah. But the celibate part, was that a bitch?
No. Because, it's a law of physics that an object in motion tends to stay in motion and an object at rest tends to stay at rest. So when you're sexually involved, you want more and you want more, and then when you're not having it, somehow it just fades onto the back burner.
I'm at the stage in my life where I just do not want to date. It's the fact that I've been single so deeply. No talking stages, no flings. We've been told that being single is the worst thing ever, especially in your 20s, because these are your prime years and this is the best that you're going to look. Your market value apparently reduces when you're older, which is all untrue. But it gets to you at some point because you keep thinking to yourself, like, am I wasting the best years of my life doing nothing? But the way I look at it is, in a few years, I might get married, okay? And I might have kids. And at that point, I'm gonna envy this 25-year-old me who had no responsibilities in life and who could sit in her car at literally 1:30 a.m. talking about how she loves being single and having no responsibilities. If in 2 years I do get married and I'm responsible for my in-laws and I have to think about what they think of me and I have all of these changes that I have to accommodate to, all of these are such big changes and I'm not gonna be me anymore. And I really ask myself every once in a while, is it that important to get married? Because I don't have that need. Now it might come when I grow older, but as of now, I don't really feel the need, but I'm just worried about being like 40 years old and looking back and then regretting it. That's the only thing. Not even the fear of growing old. It's not even the fear of being single. It is the fear of regretting not finding someone during these prime years of my life. Why can't I spend the prime years of my life just resting, relaxing? Why does it have to be engagement or marriage or kids? Why can't I just chill, float? But it is literally just the fear of regret. I'm done ranting.
I think a lot of us women now are at this point in our lives where we've done the healing work and we're so content and at peace and at ease with our lives that now when people come in, We're asking them, are you coming in to interrupt our peace? Or are you coming in to add value to our lives? Because if you're not coming in to add value, but just disrupt us and take from us, we're good. We're not afraid of being alone anymore. We're actually tired of having people come in and take from us and not give back anything, leaving us empty, questioning things, feeling confused, feeling tired, feeling drained. We're over it. So unless you're coming in to add value, leave us alone. Thank you.
I have been single for over 6 years and I've been celibate for 3. And if there's anything that I can tell you from this experience is that it is the greatest thing that will ever happen to you if you choose to walk the path of being single. I never discovered who I was until I was truly on my own and alone, and I did not experience nowhere near the amount of growth that I have experienced. I found so much self-worth. I found all of my passions. I found my hobbies. I've really cultivated who I am, and I got to the point where I was so comfortable being alone that 3 years of celibacy just came naturally to me, which is the most craziest thing ever. If you would have told me 7 years ago that I would ever even be saying that, I would be like, you're fucking crazy. The hardest part about being single for this long is just the beginning, just the withdrawal period of getting to, because you don't really know yourself yet. So you're not really comfortable with just your own presence, and you still need other people to validate your existence, and you're constantly wanting to text someone, tell them about your day. So that period where you're adjusting to not having someone all the time and you have to validate your own existence, that's the only part that's really uncomfortable. And the more that you go into it, the more you just start to flow through it with ease. And then you get really, really comfortable with being on your own. And when you get really comfortable with being on your own, you really raise the bar for who comes into your life, because they need to make your life significantly better. Essentially, the more time that you spend on your own and cultivating a relationship with yourself, the higher your standards get. And that is a really great thing. You can technically kiss toxic relationships goodbye, because the healthiest relationship you can ever have is with yourself. So if you're contemplating being single and going down that journey, I could not recommend it enough.
A video that went viral recently about how women are prioritizing peace over low-grade, low-effort relationships with men. And the number one comment that I got from men was, well, fine, if you can live without us, we're just not going to protect you anymore. So first of all, who exactly are you protecting us from? Is it Sarah that we're afraid is going to break into our home and assault us? Or is it men? Is it men that you're protecting us from? Secondly, when women say that we'd rather have peace and safety, we're not talking about physical safety. We're talking about emotional safety. The reason there is an epidemic of lonely, depressed men is because women would rather be alone than in an emotionally unsafe relationship. I feel that we're in emotional danger when we can't be vulnerable and express how we feel, or being constantly criticized or put down or ignored. Or all the men run to the comments and say, well, we want to be valued too. Yes, and you deserve that. But why are 72% of divorces initiated by women? And why statistically are women thriving in singledom and men are not? It is because women en masse are willing to put in the work, be self-reflective, and do what it takes to show up, and men simply are not.
Being called single is not an insult. Every time some dusty come up in here, that's why she keeping y'all single. That's why y'all gonna be single. Okay, well, I would rather say, oh my gosh, I'm a single woman, versus, oh my gosh, I'm with a dusty. What do I do? Don't nobody want y'all dusty butts. Okay, ain't nobody trying to claim y'all. Y'all are not the prize. Okay, somebody lied to y'all. Pick Misha that told y'all some lies. Because just because Pick Misha would rather claim you and not be single doesn't mean a woman that loves herself wants you. Okay, women that love themselves more would rather hold out for someone that's beneficial than to settle for some dust. Okay, in fact, when someone says, oh my gosh, hi Shira, I'm a single woman, there's hope there. There's lots of hope. But when I hear Shira 7, I'm with a dusty, what do I do? There's a lot of worry in that. There's a lot of anxiety in that statement. There's less anxiety in the statement, Shira, I'm single. That sounds hopeful. Because you hadn't settled down with no dust. Ain't no dusty dragging you down with him. You're not getting ready to create a cycle of poverty with a man that don't even like you or himself. So there is hope in that. So single ladies, you still have hope to not have to settle with the dust, baby. How to respond to a dusty who says only men are single by choice. That's the biggest lie ever. Because do you know how many women out here are single by choice so they can date several by choice? Okay, the script has flipped. Long time ago, the script flipped. Dusties just are used to Pick Misha. Okay, when they talk about women, they're talking about Pick Misha. They're not talking about us. They talking about desperate. Pick Misha. They are not talking about us. Pick Misha don't want to be single because she don't know how to date several, because she can't pull several, because several ain't finna pay for her. She got to pay for several. So it wouldn't make sense financially for a Pick Misha to date several men, because she would have to be paying for her. But women like us, we ain't got to pay for nothing. So it makes more sense for women who are out of these Dusty's leagues to rather claim being single, because that doesn't mean being lonely, and it doesn't mean being unprovided for. Okay. Do you know how many single women are out there being provided for by men? Do you know how many women are out there with Dusties not being provided for? Can't even say that they're not single because they're not married. So some of y'all are shacked up with a Dusty that can't even get approved to be on your lease, but y'all are claiming him? Ma'am, never claim dust. Never claim dust. If you are with a Dusty and you are not married, you are single. Except you're too stupid to have a roster. And these Dusties think they are God's gift to women when they are not even a gift to their mothers. Okay? Their mother can't even brag on them. So how's your son? Oh, well. Okay. Well, that's how it starts off when somebody asks about somebody's Dusty son. Well, be praying for him. They always start out with that, well, you're doing better than last month. Well, that girl, he got pregnant. I knew he was going to leave her. Hopefully it ain't him. Well, he's still borrowing $20 every day. Well, he's still broke. Look, if your mother is not even proud of you, hang it up. Dusty, hang it up. Don't nobody want you. And people always say, oh, Shira 7, do you not like men? No, I don't like dust. There's a difference. Okay, Dusty should be a temporary situation, but some of these men are making a permanent label upon themselves. I love men. I don't like dust.
How do you share a bathroom with a partner? Gross. I don't want to do that. If I showed you this makeup table right now, it's got makeup and crap all over it. I'm kind of messy, but I don't want to deal with someone else's mess. I'd have to have my own bathroom. I'd have to have my own closet. He'd have to have, might even want separate bedrooms so we could just come together when we felt like having a lot of fun. I would love to be, it would have to be someone who travels so we could miss each other, because I don't want to be up your butt all the time and I don't want you up mine. And all these things have just developed this list of like, oh, you think this would only work for me? This is just who I am, the way I'm built. I think this would only work for me if there was this qualifying criteria. And that's nearly impossible. And I really have come to terms with, I'm pretty comfortable. My life is very, very good. It is a very full, beautiful existence with lots of love and lots of friends. And I already told you, I got to water the garden. I'm abstinent, not celibate. So things are tended to. I will never have a tiny body, and I've come to love the big body that I live in. And that was impossible. That's been impossible when trying to fit myself into the mold of what I think a man wants. I don't know. Nobody does talk about mature women and what happens when we've been abstinent or celibate for a long time. And I think that's just because we are at peace. There's not a lot to say. Life is...
Ladies, today I have a message for you. Again. If you want to discover something about yourself, stay single. Please have a period in your life where you're single. On your own. Nobody texting you. Nobody on the side. You're totally single to figure out who you are. Because most of us jump from one relationship to another, transferring the same cycle of the same things we are running away from. And not being self-aware, we're also presenting ourselves in some situations that we also don't know what to do because we don't know ourselves. So I'm advising you, ladies, find it in your journey as a woman, a period where you're just single by yourself, where you learn to enjoy your own company, where you enjoy to talk to yourself, where you enjoy to stand in the mirror naked and admire your body, where you look at your phone and there's nobody texting you and you're still okay, where you just go to work, figure things out, do your thing on your own without a man somewhere in the corner lingering. That is how you'll discover yourself, because I bet you a lot of women do not know themselves because their identity has always been tied to a relationship. Some people have never been single. They don't even know what it means to be single. They actually do not know. In fact, when they are single, it's like they're in a crisis. They don't know what to do. You need to enjoy your own company. I know this message is for women, but it's also good for men, because by you being on your own, you will discover things about yourself that you will not tolerate if somebody didn't measure up for those things. But most of us, because we want to be in relationships so bad, we rather be in a horrible relationship than be single. And I've gotten a lot of stories about ladies' experiences telling me that they're in this toxic relationship, but they are afraid of being single. That's why they don't know what to do. They don't want to leave, but they know they should leave, but they're afraid of being single. Let me tell you, you can only fall in love with yourself when you're on your own. It's very hard for you to find who you are in a relationship. That's why they say, if you're not happy single, you will never be happy even with a man or a woman in a relationship. My advice to anybody out here who is looking to be in a relationship and wanting a relationship, have a phase in which you're single to discover who you are, to learn your body, to learn what you like, what you don't like, what kind of partner you want, what kind of things you can compromise on and which kind of things you can't compromise on. If you do not know those things, trust me, you're going to repeat the same cycle you've been repeating, wanting different results, but you're playing the same playbook. I am not a relationship coach, but that is something I have, read about, experienced it myself, and I have come to realize that as a woman, once you have a period where you are just single.
In China, girls like me are called leftover women because I'm 29, single, and child-free. And somehow, that's still controversial. Hi, I'm Jessie, a 29-year-old living in Shenzhen, China with my 8-year-old dog. China's birth rate just hits its lowest in 43 years. In Korea, women launched the 4B movement. No dating, no sex, no marriage, and no kids. East Asian women are just done with it. But why? First off, starting a family is just way too expensive now. In China, marriage isn't really romance, it's more like a business contract. You need a car, an apartment, and over $15,000 in betrothal gifts. And if you dare to have a child, you better be prepared. The total cost to raise one child in China is about $100,000, but the average couple's income is only $14K. Even if you skip your kids' math classes and piano lessons, you still be struggling for decades. And secondly, marriage is the biggest lie that's ever been sold to women. Most women believe settling down would somehow bring them security, only to realize they're expected to sacrifice their ambitions and dreams along the way. I've seen too many women slowly lose themselves over the years, and I just don't think it's worth it. At 29-year-old, I'm finally able to support myself doing whatever I want and buy the things I love, and having a child could change that anytime. Would I ever get married or have kids? Maybe. But today, I choose peace, and honestly, I've never been happier.
I've seen a lot of women talking about how they are child-free, they don't want to be married. And then when I go in the comment section, it is men in the comment section getting angry at the fact women are choosing themselves over choosing them. Because men cannot believe for 1 second that a woman could be happy without them. They just cannot believe it. They're just completely shocked because they can't be happy without women. They literally cannot. So when they see women not having children, not, getting married, they don't like it because it's going against the patriarchy. That's why I say to men, keep doing you. Keep doing you, girl. Like, honestly, keep doing you. And just don't pay attention to these men because that's all they do. They're haters. That's all I can say.
Ever since being single, I've really realized how much people pity single people. Like, every time I say I'm single, everyone has to say, like, don't worry, you're gonna find your person. A man will come. Like, don't worry. Girl, I'm not worried. I'm actually not worried. Like, in the slightest. I'm actually really happy. I'm actually really free. I'm actually really enjoying my time. I'm actually self-sufficient. I can take care of myself. I pay my own bills. I'm actually good. This weird idea that don't worry, your life will start when you find a man is so weird to me. My life has started. My life is thriving actually. And when a man comes, sure, I'll be excited. Sure, I love a little attention, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm not sitting here waiting for life to get good when I finally meet the one. You know what I mean? I'm the one. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the one, guys. We don't have to feel bad. So next time people say they're in a relationship, I think I'm gonna be like, oh, don't worry. Don't worry. You'll feel that breath of fresh air again one day. Don't worry. Maybe you guys will break up. Don't worry.
I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but I've been single for a really long time, and I always have guys asking me like, oh, how's a girl like you single? Like insinuating like I shouldn't be. And I'll tell you why I'm still single. Because my standards are, at this point, they're through the roof. Like, good luck meeting them. I mean, I require reciprocated energy, good communication, meaningful conversation that's not just how was your day, respect of my time, actually treating me like you value me as a person and that you can actually bring something positive into my life.
I mean to tell me that a healthy, happy woman will willingly choose to spend the rest of her life by herself. Like, is that what we're saying? So being single by choice is very real, right? You can be in your single season. You can decide like, I'm just, living my life, not ready for a relationship, not interested in a relationship, and that's okay. But there's one thing to say, that this is the choice that I'm making, that I want to spend the rest of my life by myself, no husband, no kids, no nothing, just me, myself, and I find it hard to believe. It sounds like a lot of bitter, broken, unhealed, unhappy women. And instead of joining all these movements, how about you join a therapy group? How about you hit up that number on the back of your insurance card if you have insurance and find out where you can find you a therapist, because that's what you need. I don't, it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. It don't make sense.
You asked for these women to go to therapy, so I feel like as a therapist, maybe I should share some perspective on this. I think we need to leave people alone for them to decide what they want to do with their life. Yes, a normal, healthy woman can decide to be single and not have children, and it is completely her choice. Don't know what you are measuring normal and healthy by, but in therapy, therapists don't force people to go for a relationship if the person has decided that this is what makes me happy, this is what works for me, this is what my life could look like. A therapist isn't going to force somebody have children and have a partner because that's what you are supposed to do as a woman. It is society that forces these roles on women. It is society that look down on women. It is somebody like you that make women who decide that they don't want to have children or get married feel like they are missing something or they are less than. If you made a choice to get married and to have children, that is completely your choice. Nobody is forcing you not to have children or not to get married. It is your choice and you are happy with it, and that is fine. If the woman next to you decides that I don't want to have children, I don't want to have a partner, I want to go through this life without that, that is also completely fine. So let us normalize allowing people to make the choices that they want to make in their lives and not forcing our reality and our experiences onto other people.
Here's the thing, being single in 2025 isn't a plan B anymore. It's a conscious decision. Women are looking at what's out there, emotionally unavailable men, situationships, zero effort, and they're saying, nah, I'll pass. They'd rather protect their peace than chase someone who's half invested. Rather build a life they love than beg someone to be consistent. And honestly, that's not being picky. That's called knowing your worth. Because when you've healed, when you've grown, when you've built something real for yourself, you don't just hand that over to someone who doesn't value it.
When you have a man, or if you say you're married, have you ever felt lonely in a relationship? That loneliness is worse than the loneliness that you will feel while you are by yourself. Because by yourself, yeah, normal and natural for feeling lonely. But when you're in a relationship and you feel lonely, that's the worst thing ever. I have done so much work to get myself to the level where I am right now. And I honestly cannot risk all of that just to be in a relationship with somebody. In order for me to say I'm comfortable with being in a relationship with somebody, they have to
meet certain standards, and the standards that I have are not unrealistic. They're not. They're quite easy to meet if you are a decent human being and if you're a good man.
I mean to tell me that a healthy, happy woman.
Reasons why I just love being single. 1, if I wake up at 3 a.m. and I want to drive somewhere and get me a freaking hot little snack, I don't gotta tell nobody. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go. Number 2, if I want to pop, lock, and drop it in the street, who's gonna say something to me? Nobody. Number 3, I don't gotta do this. Can I? Will I? Do you mind? Can I do this? Why don't you like them? Absolutely not. No, because you know who I answer to? Right here. This girl. Number 4, I'm sleeping peaceful. Peaceful. Nobody done made me mad other than maybe my kids. But I'm not gonna be up wondering if they're gonna text me. I'm in a relationship with my dang self. I can't get into feelings about myself because I'm me and I'm awesome. Last but not least, number 5. Don't gotta mess with anybody else's parents. Just your own. And I know for sure my parents love me. Don't gotta question it.
It's so funny to me how so many men think that when they say to a woman, that's why you're single now, that we take that as like a diss or something, when so many women will get on here and be like, I've been single for 5 years, I've been celibate for 10 years, I've been single for 3 years, however long, and these women are literally the happiest women. They're literally so happy because they don't have a freaking gremlin in their life tormenting them and causing them unnecessary stress, anxiety, and health issues that they would not have if they were single. And so being single is actually a flex, right? Being in a happy and healthy relationship is a flex too, but being single is a definite flex because you don't have to deal with a man who is basically making your life a living hell. Now, for all the ladies who are in happy, healthy relationships, yes, kudos to you. Flex. Go ahead and flex. One day I will get there too. But right now, I am happier single than in a relationship that's unhealthy. And based off of all the relationships I've been in the past, they have all been unhealthy. So where I'm at right now, I'm happy, and so many other women are happy. So if these men are still out here thinking that they're dissing us in any sense by saying that's why you single now, that's why you can't get a man, right now I don't want a man. Like, what do you think this is? I'm at peace, honey. Peace is priceless. You cannot take that away from me ever. So yes, girl, I feel you. Being single for however long is a huge flex. That's where you're.
The happiest people are single women and married men. It was like this whole like debate, and I'm like, I really think that is true.
Honestly, you guys, like, I feel like a lot of married women are unhappy
because they take on both roles. A lot of women take on both roles, and that's what makes them unhappy. Because when a man gets married, he automatically like gets everything. He gets a home. He gets, he gets the good parts of a woman.
He gets a chef, a nanny, a house cleaner, a prostitute.
They get everything.
They get everything.
Literally. And then the woman is like expected to do the housework and work as well.
Honestly, like, I don't want to say a lot of women like enable it, but it's like you got it. Like, I think Shara 7 says something really well. She's like, just don't do it for a week.
How to respond to men who says women who are single means something is wrong with them. Yes, it means something is wrong with their ability to accept society morals and that they're making their own morals. If you're single as a woman, doesn't mean you're not dating several men, get several bills paid. It means you're not committing to a dusty or someone that hasn't taken you 100% off the market by being a provider. Women are not dating men anymore. They need to be dating providers. So when a man says something is wrong with you if you're single, it's like, no, nothing is wrong with me at all. I only date providers. In fact, I'm dating several right now, but I am single. Get it? It's like, you're right. Something is wrong with me. I don't have the same morals that society brainwashed women with. So I'm dating several providers right now, but I am single. But I pay no bills. That's what you need. That's the answer that you need to give, because a lot of men don't understand that we have surpassed what society has tried to brainwash us with.
You know why I'm never going to shut up about being a single girl who lives alone is because I am the first woman, not only in my family, in my entire lineage, who's able to live alone. My mom
was never able to live alone. Her mom was never able to live alone. Her mom was never able to live alone. Multiply that times infinity for the rest of forever till the beginning of humanity. And it actually is that deep. If you're a girly who's living right now in your own little apartment, can afford your own bills, can pay your own rent, you don't rely on your family, you don't rely on a man in your life to financially provide for you, you're quite literally breaking generational trauma. I can literally say it started with me. My sisters, everyone after me, I was the first. I was literally the first woman in my entire female lineage to live alone. It is that deep, and that's fucking crazy, and I will not shut up about it.
Sir, I know you meant this as a diss, but I sincerely hope you're right, because I hope that happily single women teach other women that they can also be happily single until they find their partner. And if they never want to be in partnership, they can live successful, happy lives single and don't need to be in partnership. That way they won't settle for partners that aren't right for them. Being single isn't contagious. But Lord, I hope being happily.
Some girl DM'd me today asking me how I was doing so well being single and not wanting to go on dating apps or date men. And I gave her a genuine response, but I also just came to the biggest memory from last February where I went on Amazon and I ordered pink sheets. Okay, pink sheets. I was at the time dating a man. And I was like, that said man was out of the house at the time. The pink sheets came in the mail. I put the pink sheets on. He came home, and he said to me, were we not going to have a conversation about these pink sheets? Mind you, it's my house, my apartment, my bed. And he asked me if we needed to have a conversation about pink sheets. So when I think about dating a man, granted, I know that the next man I date will be a healthy man, healthy relationship. But I think about that and I'm like, why, again, would I put myself through anything that could possibly have that outcome? I don't know. But the authentic advice was that you'll literally only be single for so long. Eventually, you will find a person that is going to be your forever person. And when that time comes, you will no longer get to experience what being single is like anymore. You'll forever have a partner, and I'm sure you'll be extremely happy that you have that person with you for the rest of your life. But in the time being, since single is fleeting, I'm going to enjoy every aspect of it and not rush to be with any man that's going to ask me why I got pink sheets on my bed.
Being a single woman is not a compliment in every case.
Here we go.
I'm sorry, it's just not. It actually raises a lot of red flags, to be honest. Because now you got your counterparts and your peers asking behind your back if you even capable of keeping a relationship, keeping a man or keeping a woman, etc. See, a lot of y'all felt triggered by that settle video, which was eye-opening to me because obviously we have a lot of women living in the state of delusion, thinking that they just gonna find the most perfect man ever. And if not, and they can't find that, they'll just be single, as if that's supposed to do any type of advancement to our society. Ask yourself, what is your purpose on the earth as a woman if you're not seeking some type of family, and especially family of your own? What exactly are you trying to accomplish on this earth?
Wash your booty hole in the shower. And
thank God I'm not engaged. Thank God I'm not married. Thank God I have no kids. I'm free. I can do whatever I want. You know how cool that is? You are in your 20s, no relationship, no kids, nothing tying you down. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. Instead of being bummed, oh, I haven't found my person yet, blah, blah, blah. The person will come. Just build the life that you want. So much more fun just doing things for you and building that relationship with you. And it's so cheesy, but I'd rather be hanging out with me than compromising with some dude. Been there, done that. We're not doing it.
How to respond.
People don't talk enough about the amount of peace that comes with being single as a woman. When you got your own money, when you got your own place, when you got your own car, when you got your own job, when you got a bed that you can come in and rub your feet together at night, when you got your own snacks in the refrigerator, when you are able to just sit in the comfort of your home by yourself and not be lonely. Take notes, ladies. Sometimes what you think is worth it ain't always worth it. And if I'm being honest, the easiest thing to get is a man.
So, controversial take, but then again, when am I not? And even stuff that I don't think is controversial, people will still say it's controversial. So here we are. But I was thinking the other day, and I think about this a lot, and I think about why so many men are angry at women that are happy to be child-free and single, and the biggest insult they can offer us is you're going to die alone with cats or dogs or some kind of pet. And I see so many women rejoicing in this and being like, fuck yeah, pets, no children, no commitment, no raising a man like a second child. Where is the point where I'm losing here? This sounds like the ideal situation. Now, obviously, it doesn't apply to all women. I'm talking to women that are single by choice. I'm talking about women that choose not to have children. Obviously, this doesn't apply to the women that have husbands and are happy, and that have children and are happy, and that is a life they wanted, and they made that decision, and they are very happy with that decision. This does not obviously apply to them. But so women like myself that would be more than happy to die alone. If I meet the love of my life, great. If I don't, also great. I'm really content with both options. I've enjoyed being in relationships and I've enjoyed being single. I forced myself to get uncomfortable with being single so that if that ever was the reality for the rest of my life as a woman that doesn't want children and who finds it hard to meet men that don't want children, will I be okay with it? Yes, and I was content with that quite a while ago. So both suit me, both I'd be okay with. But whenever you say this, there's a lot of men that really hate it and they try to throw spinster at you, or they try to throw old or damaged goods or tainted, or, you know, the bog standard misogynistic bullshit that we hear all the time. And I was thinking to myself, why do these men get so angry? Why do they hate the idea of me doing something by myself in my home alone that has nothing to do with them? And I'll tell you the conclusion I drew from this. It may not fully be the truth, but it's what I think is to be the truth about a lot of misogynistic men. And that is that men really hate their own company, and that these types of men, not all men, and that these types of men really don't know how to be alone because the voices in their head are too painful. The trauma, the wounds from childhood, all this stuff comes up. All the things that they don't want to face, that they've constantly ignored since they were children, that comes up, and the silence is too loud. And because the silence is too loud, they can't stand being by themselves. So because women are now very okay with that, we will often sit in our trauma and our wounds and our pain, or we'll take ourselves to therapy, we'll journal. We might do all of it, and we're very okay with it. The idea of a woman being okay with something they're not, I think they're jealous of. On top of that, if those women are okay with that and they choose to go and be single and not involve themselves with men, and not have a partner, that means there's more of these men left over without a woman doing emotional labour for them, which means they're forced to be in the house, in their head. And I think, and I don't think these are all the reasons, but I think these are two of the big reasons. I think that's really uncomfortable for them. Because for me, if I met a man and he said, I really want to have a family, I wouldn't be like, how dare you want to have a family? And if I met a man and he said, I really want to be by myself, I don't want to date somebody, I'd be like, good for you, bro. Yeah, you see so many of these men that when women are like openly opting into it, because they don't want to do that, and because they can't fathom doing that, they think it must be a lie. Because men think from their perspective that we think somewhat like them, even though we don't, the same way we as women often think the men might think more like us than they actually do. We are quite diverse. I think a lot of men think, I can't imagine doing that, so how are you able to do that? And because I don't understand it, what do we do when we don't understand something and we are ignorant? We become angry, we shout at it, we end up projecting our inner pain that we feel towards that situation. So if we're not okay with something and you can do it easily, that triggers us. And I honestly think that for all the women I know where I say, how would you feel about dying alone with cats? How would you feel about dying alone without family? How would you feel about, just going to a coffee shop with all those other little old ladies? How would you feel about that? So many of them, the ones that don't want children or the ones that are really sick of dating shitty men, they're all really content. But loads of men I know are not content with that idea. And loads of men I know can't imagine doing that. And I honestly think it's because when you sit in silence and when you're in your aloneness, and lots of men are used to distracting themselves, but as you get older, you can't distract yourself in the same way because your boys are married and your boys have families and your boys have kids. You are now forced to sit in that aloneness. And men since childhood have never faced their aloneness and have never faced their pain and have never faced their trauma. And so because they'll now be forced to do it with nobody being their companion and either helping them through it or serving as a distraction, that scares the fuck out of them. And to add to that, I also think this is the reason why a lot of men want children. I have a whole different take on this, and that's for a different day because I'd be here forever. But I think a lot of men want children because once you've got the girl and once you've got the kids, if your girl ever decides that she's not okay with the treatment you're giving her, because men somehow think that they're entitled to unconditional love, and they don't realise that your girl can unconditionally love you and still leave you. That's not what the unconditional love is. You want a girl to unconditionally stay for your BS. But because a woman might one day turn around and go, this behaviour isn't good enough, I'm not happy, and instigate a divorce, well, at least if I've got the kids, I've got somebody there to look after me and love me unconditionally. And I've been having this conversation a lot recently where I say, children do not love you unconditionally. They are dependent on you because you are literally their means of survival. Once that child gets to the age of 15, 16, sometimes even younger, and realizes you're a piece of shit, they will not unconditionally love you anymore. Once a lot of children grow up and realize who you are as a person, that unconditional love goes out the window. If anything, the wife that stays by your side through thick and thin, as long as you're not a total piece of shit and it's actually reasonable things to stay with somebody through, that's unconditional love. That's unconditional love. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents worth. I actually have a lot more sense to give on this, because I have a lot of opinions and I spend a lot of time observing and talking to men in so many different ways, where so many of them tell on themselves without realising they're telling on themselves. And I will ask them key questions, whether that be through my job, coaching, or through just everyday life things, work that I used to do, working in all different backgrounds, being on the train and having a conversation with a guy that's married but wants me to not realise he's married because he just took his ring off 5 seconds before talking to me. Loads of different backgrounds where I talk to men. I will ask them specific questions where I know they're going to tell me something they don't realise they're telling me, and they tell on themselves all the time. And so for me, a lot of these men that are married and unhappy and they're cheating, or a lot of these men that are angry that women are making the choice to choose to live without them, a lot of it is because they're scared of being left behind, because we actually do better at being by ourselves than they do. And if you're triggered by this, then this probably applies to you, because if you're a happy person that's in your own little bubble and this doesn't apply to you, this will have no effect on you. So if it does, maybe take a moment to reflect that maybe there might be some truth behind it.
Let me help you out, my man. There's a difference between wanting to be single and choosing to be single. And most women are choosing to be single because there's just no good men out there. Let me give you an example. I had a good friend come to me a couple of years ago saying, Robbie, help me find a good man. She's educated, got a great career, beautiful, and someone that you would want to marry. And trust me, I know plenty of single men, but they're single for a reason. Every good man I know is taken by a woman. And that should be the testimony. When a woman finds a good man, she knows how to hold on to that good man. And that's why women are single. Because simply put, there just aren't any good men out there.
I think back in the day, they told women not to stay single for so long, because then they know that if you stay single for any lengthy amount of time, that you're going to come to your senses.
Men have had it with women. They are walking away. Hope you are handy around the house. I actually am. Thank you. And, obviously I don't know how to do it all. The good thing is, I'm in an apartment. I don't have to be handy. If I have an issue, I just call maintenance. When I was actually still married, I am the one who did anything around the house, unless it was hired out. My ex-husband couldn't even change a light bulb. Squeaky hinges, took care of all that. Hanging stuff up, I took care of that too. He was able to go to work, and he was able to get himself home from work and eat lots of snacks while sitting in bed. I love it when men use this argument that they're basically saying, like, men are only good for physical labor. They don't understand that, number one, many women are handy. And number two, whatever we're not able to take care of, we can hire someone. There's many, many services out there. Whatever it is that needs to be done, we can hire someone. We have money. We have jobs. When men think that that's their main selling point, they're bidding against themselves. It shows you that they are horrible, horrible salespeople, because, there's no selling point. What are you offering me that I can't get somewhere else? Absolutely nothing, except for a headache. And you know what? I can go.
A lot of women choose to be single. It's not that we're not able to get a man. We choose to be single. We choose to be single because we don't want to be placed under foolish leadership, because you can't be submissive to a fool. Being chosen isn't an issue for most of us. It's just not. We just don't want the mental load that most men place on women. We require a mate that is equally yoked and that will not come with a lot of extra stress, chaos, and confusion. So we choose not to settle and we choose not to date and practice abstinence until we are able to find someone that we know can be a lifelong partner.
I see a lot of videos on this app of women who are in their 30s and single saying they're the only person that's single in their friend group. Like all their friends are partnered, they're having kids, or settling down, yada yada. For me, it's the opposite. I'm 30 and I've been invited to like maybe 2 friend weddings and none of my friends are settling down. None of my friends are even in relationships. So I feel I bring a very unique perspective to the conversation on men and like dating in your 30s, because not only am I 30 and single, a lot of my friends are 30 and single and they live across the country. So this isn't just like, oh, I'm in San Diego, it's the San Diego guys. No, this is literally from East Coast to West Coast. And you can tell me I'm biased, but literally all my friends are hot, bad bitches who are independent and have really solid careers. So like in my mind, these are people that should have a boyfriend. Like you'd want to date them. But literally nothing is working out for any of my friends. If it were just me, I would think, okay, I'm the problem. But the fact that this is my friends that are across the country that are having this issue, it's the men. Like it's literally, it speaks to the quality of men. It's just always so disappointing. And listen, I'm not saying there's not good men. There are. But the ones that are, they get scooped up because there's like 10 of them. There's like 10 good ones and 5,000 terrible ones. I'm waiting for the day that someone proves me wrong. I saw a TikTok the other day of somebody saying that part of the reason why so many women are choosing to stay single and not get...
So let's get one thing straight. Being single in 2025 doesn't mean you've given up on love. It means you've stopped settling for less than you deserve. Women today aren't choosing loneliness. They're choosing freedom. Freedom from chasing people who aren't ready. Freedom from confusing situationships and inconsistent energy. They're not just raising standards, they're protecting their peace. And if that means staying single until the right energy shows up, so be it. Because real love isn't rushed, it's not forced, and it definitely doesn't come at the cost of self-respect. In 2025, women are building businesses, healing from past wounds, traveling, growing, thriving, and they're not putting all that on hold for someone who brings chaos instead of calm. And honestly, that's powerful.